All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning from Alligator Alley. Where you headed, Melon? You're going to lose service right around that bend. You know what bend I'm talking about. If you're coming from Naples, maybe about 40 minutes into your trip, you start to turn a little bit. Service cuts out, you lose it all. You probably know what I'm talking about. Welcome back, everyone. Happy Friday. What an awesome week. Man, did we crush it yesterday. Oh, my God. Just awesome stuff. Top short watch of the day, CRWV. Down 10% yesterday. Can't take all the credit for that one. Community, I mean, the Discord, our community was just so locked in yesterday. Chris Jones, shout out Chris Jones, shout out Fern, shout out all you guys. I mean, not just those two. What a day. Feeling good about it. Circle, CRWV, just spot on. Oh yeah, there's some changes coming to that attendance sheet. We'll run the giveaways for today, and this is the prize. Your prize today, and we'll have different prizes all the time. Free Options Insider hat. That's today's prize. But we got a point system coming to that. We got a point system coming to that attendance form. We're gonna have some questions. You'll gain points from answering them. We're also I think we're gonna have a secret word. So like at some point in the stream, we'll have like a word that if you type it in, you'll actually get like a really large amount of points. So you have a higher chance of winning, meaning the people that actually stick around and watch have a higher chance of winning. I'm here to reward the people that support me. I'm not really here to reward people that just jump in, fill out the attendance form, and then click off the video. So, yeah, we're gonna make it good. We're not gonna just half-ass that. So, yeah, this is a vintage hat. You're right. This is vintage. Actually, it's not as vintage as that one. That's the most vintage. This is the second, and then the new one is just the insiders. But yeah, nice hat. I love this hat. It actually is one of the, you know how like some hats fit really well? This is one of those hats. It fits really good here. It's not too tall. Like it's not like you look like a clown. It's a good hat. Wear it this way. We'll do that at the end of the live stream, though. We'll do that at the end of the live stream. All right. Let's jump in. So today, retail sales, consumer sentiment, inflation expectations. Yesterday, PPI. What happened yesterday? It was pretty much a gap fill rejection to some extent. It was a gap fill rejection and then a chop fest the rest of the day. And we had our key levels yesterday, and they stayed between them. And so we had a really good game plan yesterday. The overall market was pretty crap. There was some really nice anomalies on stocks like Circle and CRWV, which were just awesome. Tesla had a nice little intraday downside off our 338 level. So some really nice stuff out there. Let's see what today has for us. Let's understand that we have some data around 10 o'clock, which is 30 minutes after open, so we have to know that. And then let's also take into consideration that it's Friday. And Fridays are very important because Fridays set the tone for your weekend, which sets the tone for next week, right? You don't want to ruin your week on a Friday. You just don't. We've had an awesome week. We've made some really good trades. I have not had a single red day this week, and I don't plan on changing that today. So trades, I would say, should be minimized. I think the size should be decreased. I think you should look maybe for further dated contracts to decrease volatility. Whatever you have to do to make sure that you don't kill the vibe on a Friday morning is very important. It's very important for your Yeah, I'm going to change that margin. Thank you, brother. Yeah, we're going to change that to yesterday, did you take any trades? And yesterday, did you journal your trades? Yeah. Yeah, I've noticed I had, yeah, I realized that a little bit late. But yeah, right? Friday, let's keep it tight. Let's not do anything stupid. In my early days of trading, not even early, right? Sort of my middle days and my grind days and the days, when I was still just sort of doing well, giving it all back, doing well, giving it all back, doing well, giving it all back. Those give back days were typically Fridays, where I would get super aggressive on 0DTE contracts. I'd try to go for a home run to close the week. I'd try to, something off the open. Zeros, within 10 minutes, they're down 40%. I just gave back all my gains within 30 minutes of the market open, and I just ruined it all, right? Not the game plan. Okay? With that said, let's get started. Press that like button, subscribe to the channel. Here we go. We'll jump into the circle here. I guess it's not so much the circle anymore. The circle has been... circle is no longer along with the stock, I guess you could say. I guess once we... that's funny, man. If you guys remember, we changed this camera to a circle, and I think circle that same day went up like 20%. And then we changed it off the circle, and since then, circle stock has been straight down. I think we might actually be controlling the stock through our live stream size, or our live stream video shape, whatever you want to call that. My picture-in-picture shape. Circle has been squared. That's right. All right. So with that said, let's stop fucking around. Here we go. Where is my... I'm looking at all my screens. I don't know where the hell my economic calendar is. Okay, here it is. The circle has been squared. So, today, retail sales 830. Oh, and we didn't even talk about UNH. My God, we'll talk about UNH in a second. We'll talk about why I'm not that upset I didn't hold. I do have some regret, but I also, sometimes think about how I don't think about stupid things like, oh man, if I would have bought $20,000 of it, I'd be up $1 million. I think more like I had no interest in having size. So really, what did I miss out on? Probably like $4,000. So yeah, I mean, what a call. We'll get into that in a second. Let's do this first. Retail sales 830. That's today. Let's see what happens. 10 o'clock, consumer sentiment, inflation expectations. Let's be aware of that. And then a tentative time on President Trump speaking today. Okay. Press conference with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Interesting. I don't know what time that is. If anyone knows time, let me know. But yeah. Yeah, any of you guys in UNH? Who's in UNH? Show of hands. Let's see it. All right, let's jump into the charts. So, NASDAQ futures, yesterday we had that PPI event, and we never got above that PPI move. Where am I? Right here. Okay, we got a little bit above it, actually. Take that back. The ES basically rejected it. So if we take a look at this NASDAQ, we had these lows here at around 23,980, 23,990, right? Which was these lows here we were watching. And then these highs here, which are, it's now 24,020. This area is getting stuck. So this is the area I'm watching today. You guys can see right here, highs, and yesterday's rejection high. So watching this 23,990 to 24,020 zone today, watching basically this consolidation here, these rejections here, and this is where we failed yesterday right there. So today, as long as we're below that, I am still very cautious on looking for tech upside today. Really, I am more interested to see if this is just another complete sideways consolidation day, my friends. Because today is OPEX, today is options expiration, the monthly options expiration. Typically, you get some choppy action on that. You can see our 23.8 level held like an absolute champ yesterday. which was the level we were talking about live on this live stream when PPI was released. We said watch out for 23.8 to hold. That's exactly what it did. 23.8, 23.8. We held it. We pushed higher into this high here. We rejected, and we stayed sideways the rest of the day. And that was it. Right? You guys need to realize sometimes that this happens, right? You get your first, hour of action, and then the rest of the day just becomes complete shit. This happens often, especially when you have major levels above and major levels below. And you need to be able to understand that your odds of profitability decrease heavily after that first move and after the market sort of finds itself, its boundaries, right? The market basically finds its boundaries and then just sits pretty in between it for the rest of the day. And so it's really important to be able to spot that. And that was pretty much, right, within yesterday's action. And we said yesterday in the live stream, if we stay within yesterday's action, you're going to see another similar day. And guess what? Today, we are opening within yesterday's lows and yesterday's highs. And so we need to be aware again today and not be irrational, not come into the day with any type of, crazy expectations and say, well, guess what? It's Friday. It's OPEX. I probably have no business trading 0 DTE in an exact channel of the previous day, right? And so, at the end of the day, if you lose your money trading zeros inside of yesterday's range, you have every right to. To be quite honest, right? I'm not trying to be an asshole, but that's just the truth, right? These are the types of things that you have to control. And I don't say this lightly because this is important stuff. You have to be able to control yourself, right? If you want to be a profitable trader, that's why you show up to this live stream. That's why you show up to these, to the things that I talk about and other people online. That's why you commit yourself to this, this commitment to try to become profitable. You can't say that you're going to become a profitable trader and then start throwing around SPY 0 DTE contracts within yesterday's range, right? That's total you're a hypocrite. That's really what it is, right? So say it. I like to say what it is. So, I would be saying this to myself. If I find myself fucking around, really, that's the right word to use, and I know it's vulgar, but if I start finding myself trading 0 DTEs today within this range of yesterday, and I'm losing my money, I have every right to lose my money. There is no edge there. There is no trade there, and I have no self-control, right? That's pretty much all it is. So find that self-control. That's necessary if you want to be successful long-term. It's just the truth. So there is nothing here on the market. There is nothing between these highs and these lows. There's nothing. There's nothing you could tell me that there's even a possible trade in this area. So please stay away from it. Please don't start getting bored and starting to find random spots inside this zone. Don't do it. It's not there. So today, if we stay under 24,020, right? If we stay below this, I'm going to set an alert above it. If we stay above 23.8, I'm going to set an alert below it. If I don't get in either of those alerts to hit, I should not be finding myself trading the NASDAQ futures. Now, of course, you could look for longs off these lows, shorts off these highs. That's fine. That is a advanced trader that knows what they're looking for, that understands channel rules, right? That looks to short highs, takes profits, looks to long lows, takes profits, right? That's fine. But if you're saying, oh, I think the market's going to break out today, and you're just taking longs in the middle of this channel, hoping that this happens, you're just guessing, right? So have some kind of system. If you're going to trade the channel lows, channel highs, you have to know what you're doing there. If not, I would wait for this market to break above the highs and break below the lows. That's it. And if you say, hey, I don't want to get involved in this today, you're not going to look back. If you say that, right, and you look for these levels to break here, and then you look back at 4 o'clock today, and this is what today did, I guarantee you're not going to look back and say, man, I missed such a great trading day. Right? I can't believe I missed out on that opportunity. That's not going to happen. So just simply put the levels, put the alerts, and don't trade it in between. That's what I would do. Futures is a little bit different. You can obviously find little scalp longs or shorts off major channel highs and lows. I'm not saying that's not possible. But overall, that's what I'd be watching today, okay? Under 23.8, I think you find a nice short down into 23.617. I think this is a nice area of short opportunity down here underneath yesterday's lows, down into these lows here. I think that's pretty nice, a nice lucrative area there. And then, of course, a hold over yesterday's highs, a hold over these highs from Wednesday probably creates a nice upside squeeze. So let's see what the data does today, though. Maybe the data gets us outside. Maybe it gives us some opportunity, right? That would be our hope, to get outside of these ranges with some data, with a catalyst. That would be the hope. For the QQQ, right, the real channel is really this, right? The larger and the more, important channel is really looking like this, which is down at previous all-time highs, which is the exact level we held yesterday. On this live stream, as we moved lower on PPI, we said watch out for 577. This is the previous all-time high, and this level could hold. What did we do? We held, and we pushed higher, right? So guess what? This market is not bearish, and this market, it is not correct to short this market if you are still above previous all-time highs. There is no reason to be bearish on this market if it's holding above previous all-time highs. And it did that on PPI yesterday. So if you want to look short on this market, I think you want to look for a fail under 577, right? If you can get a nice break, rejection, and fail under 577, previous all-time highs, yesterday's lows, CPI highs, that's a fantastic short opportunity. And you would have every reason to look short there. All right, that actually gives you a real edge, a real idea. So that's something I would look for today, 577, right? That could be a great spot. So keep an eye on that. Above 582, I think that gives you a nice opportunity for the upside, right? Above 582, maybe a little break and retest above, over yesterday's highs, over these highs here. Maybe you see a little bit of action over 582 to the upside, right? That could be nice as well. Besides that, right, you are trading within this channel. You're trading within yesterday's shit show. You're trading within Wednesday's shit show, and you have every reason to be chopped up again, to be quite honest. There's a little bit of a short-term level that you could watch within this zone. It's right around 579 if you so please, right? If you really want to get action inside of this zone, 579 looks like a little bit of a spot to watch, right? You can see right here, a little bit of 579 action, 579 action. It's sort of setting up in the middle. I'm taking that off my charts though. I don't want to have any business getting involved in that zone. S&P 500, slight divergence this morning. The reason for the divergence is that UNH is very much higher, and it's dragging the Dow Jones higher, right? UNH is one of the largest Dow components. Obviously, it's decreased as a Dow component lately because the Dow is market cap weighted, basically. So as UNH has got tanked, as the market cap has been tanked, it's been less part of the UNH of the Dow, but it's still a pretty large part of the Dow. And with UNH going up, you can see the Dow is being affected positively. That's sort of helping the ES, I'd say. So as you guys know, ES is sort of that middleman. So you have a little bit of divergence on the ES today and a lot of divergence on the Dow Jones, just so you know. S&P 500 is actually above the CPI or the PPI highs right now, where you can see the NASDAQ is still below. This is your PPI highs. This is where the NASDAQ is rejecting. And I'm just going to make sure I know where that is. The PPI high is 966. I just want to make sure I'm watching that today. PPI high. I just want to have a level there. I just want to make sure I know where that is. So you can see, look at the divergence, right? Here's your PPI high on NASDAQ, which you are well below right now. Look at the ES. You are holding above it. So you have, a different read there on the S&P 500 today. That is 64.92, and that was the perfect gap fill rejection yesterday, right? Look at this was a beautiful little short yesterday, and I know a lot of you guys in the group caught this one. This was sick. So you had a little bit of a trap over PPI highs yesterday. Look at this right here. This was awesome. PPI highs, you have a gap down. Gap gets filled throughout the entire day, right? Gap gets filled. Little bull trap right above it. Little alfalfa candle, no break and retest. You had a break, you had no retest, so you had no business longing that. You failed back under it, you started to reject it, and look at the short that was created on a fail back under PPI highs. This was a beautiful downside trade yesterday on a little bull trap right above that high. So that was clean. That was really clean. So today, right, I'm going to be watching, does the ES hold above that level today? All right, does the ES hold back above 64.92? Right now it is. If it fails back under it, that could be a little bit telling, right? It could be a little bit telling if you move back, if you fail back under it, right? So be careful that 64.92, see if that holds or fails today. Really, all that's left up here is the Wednesday high right here, right? And then this 65.08 all-time high. That's really it, right? You have this Wednesday high at 65.02. You have this 65.08. You have this little 6-point gap or 6-point supply zone. You get above that today, I mean, there's really no stopping the ES at this point. So let's see. PPI high, it should be, let's see, 64.90. Let me see margin. I mean, my chart's showing right here, 64.92. No, the high from PPI, like when PPI came out, margin. That's what I'm charting. That's always an important spot. What's the high of the actual event candle? Right here, this candle. It's always important to have that. Right there. 64.9175 is the exact high. 8:30, man. PPI. Okay. So, moving on. That's that. If you fail back under that high, that candle high from PPI event, under 64.92, then you probably trade back down to your 64.60 demand. All right? Probably trade back down to your 64.60 demand. That would be my assumption. If you do fail back under these highs right here, I would say you trade back down to your 64.60, or at least you just start to chop in this channel today, right? You basically chop between yesterday's action, right here, this area, right? If you get under 64.60, then the market's starting to sort of slip, in my opinion. Back down to 64.42, and that is the CPI high, right? That is the 8:30 candle on the CPI high, which is 64.42, which is going to be an important spot moving forward. So we'll have that on our charts as well. Okay. All right. SPY, same thing. Yesterday, what did we hold? We held previous all-time highs. So yesterday's live stream, we said how the Qs and SPY both matched up at the previous all-time highs. What did they do? They both held that level. Absolutely perfect. So 641.57, perfect. Yesterday, we actually took a nice SPX long yesterday, which I guess the trade sort of, I don't know, just wasn't as talked about, it just didn't, I didn't hold it out for full. But we had a nice little break and retest over the previous day lows, which actually was a pretty clean trade. Just didn't really, I don't know, just didn't really hold it out. Didn't have much confidence in it, I guess you could say. It was too early for me. But we had this previous day low here at 642.67, and we actually caught a nice long on a break and retest, a reclaim back above that level, which was really nice. Right here, sort of right in this area. You reclaimed PDL, and you had a really nice sort of upside move from that point to fill the gap. So pretty clean there. The PPI high is this right here. So I have that a little bit off right here. It is pretty much 645 is your, I would say anywhere between this 645. Yeah, I would, let me see. Hold on one second. Let me zoom out here. Let me get the exact spot I want to be watching here. I'd say it's anywhere between 645 and 645.23. I actually need to flip these, because the exact high on PPI was 645. So 645 was your PPI high. And then you have this little high here around 20, right around 20. So I'm just going to watch that zone right now, today, right in here. Let me get this on the charts. So right in here, I'm going to be watching this high here, 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 which held here in the after hours, which is holding here again. So I'm going to be watching to see if the SPY comes back down, do you hold here at these highs, right? At 645. If not, if you fail back under, you're right back within yesterday's range, which probably brings you back down to that 642.70, 643 area. Under that, you still have that previous all-time high. Okay? Pretty much the same read as the ES. Really no difference there. ES just tested our 64.92 spot as we speak, which is going to be a very interesting spot. So let's see what happens there. All right, IWM, we talked about the retest of 227, 226.74 yesterday. What did the IWM do? It did exactly that. Previous high, you pulled back, you held that level pretty much perfectly. Nice little pullback long at that 226.75, 227 zone. However, today you are now stuck within this range right here. And I have to turn this red because you are now under that level. That level, remember, if we go to the 4-hour chart, was a major previous high, right? Don't forget this. That 230.70 spot is these previous highs right here. This is a major high. Rejection, rejection, rejection. That level is right here. So be a little bit careful up there on the IWM. I would really want to see us clear that out before getting too confident to the upside. SMH is at its major hold. SMH, we talked about it pulling back to 297, these previous highs right here. Can it turn into support? We said we are not shorting semiconductors if the SMH is holding 297. That was one of the better calls of yesterday, right? We are not shorting semis if you hold above 297. Look at 297 yesterday. You opened the market, you went straight up off that level. There was never a short on semiconductors yesterday, right? AMD went straight up off the open. NVIDIA went straight up off the open. Why did they do that? Because they were in demand and the SMH held your 297 level. So the only way you're looking to short SMH today is a break below 297. That's the only way you can look short semis. It has to break. Without that, you're shorting into demand. I would not be involved, okay? Bitcoin did the exact pullback we talked about. We said Bitcoin rejected 123. We need a pullback down to 118, 20 SMA. What did we do? We pulled back to 118 in the daily 20 SMA. So pretty much perfect there on Bitcoin. You can see right here, we were looking for that, pull back to 118 in that daily 20. That's what we did. Let's see if it holds today. If this holds and starts to curl back higher, could be a nice hold on Bitcoin. If we fail the daily 20, maybe you just found yourself a little bit of a, short-term high up here. So let's see. This daily 20 and 118 is going to be very important. Big watch there today. We can go over the Dow Jones real quick just because it is being affected by UNH. The Dow Jones, this high here is really what I'm watching. We have this little previous high around 43.3, I believe it is. I'm sorry, 45.3. Yeah, it's right here. 45.312 is this previous high. And you can see that's the level that's getting a little bit tough this morning. So 45.312, getting a little bit tough. All right, you can see right here. Right there. So a little bit tough there at that high. Be careful of that today. Right there, right there. This is a nice hold at this 44.8. Very nice spot there, holding above those previous highs right here. Rejections, holding. So that's good. I'm going to delete this for now. I'm just going to watch those two spots today. Can you hold 44.8? Can you get over 45.312? If you get over 45.312, I don't really see anything until 45.8, right? Maybe the Dow can outperform a little bit here. The next level is really up at these highs here at 45.800, right here. So let's see. Let's see how that Dow does today. All right, guys, we got data in 30 seconds. Let's see how the market reacts to it. Let's see if we get the ES to outperform through these highs. Let's see if it fails back under that PPI level. Right now it is holding, so this will be very interesting. If you guys could, please take a second, press the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. We're here every single morning starting at 8 a.m. Also, while I have your attention, we have the webinar. Oh, actually, I'll tell you after. Okay. We're holding that 92 spot for dear life right now. That has to hold. It's looking like it wants to. Yeah. Okay, what's retail sale numbers? Hamish. Retail sales 0.5 versus 0.6. Okay, so, I mean, just 1 basis point under expectations, in line on the core. Yeah, I mean, not much of a reaction. Holding 92, though. Yeah, holding 92 for sure. Look at that. So, a little bit of a pop off that 92. So, that's still holding, meaning the ES is still in that, hold territory for sure. The NASDAQ is still very much within yesterday's range. Really nothing to talk about there. But ES 92 is looking like a very important spot to start the day. So, not much. Not much to go off there besides 92. On the Qs and the NASDAQ, it's really not pretty, in my opinion. All right, look at this. I mean, this is just really not that pretty. So, going to be a little bit difficult out there, I'd say, today because of that divergence. You know, you have a pretty large difference on these two markets today. Going to have to see something sort of correlate. 92. Let's see. All right. What did I want to go? Oh, the webinar. Sunday webinar. It's free. All you have to do is register. It's down in the description below. Make sure to do so. We have a lot of people signed up. I'm going to say about 50% of people actually show up, right? I know a lot of you guys are probably just putting your names on it, don't actually show up. So we'll see. We'll see how many people show up. But so far, a lot of interest in it. Make sure you put your name on the list. Register for the free webinar this Sunday at 6 p.m. 6 p.m. You should be home, sitting pretty. Get ready for the chart. Get ready for the next day. Haven't decided if I want it to be recorded or not because I sort of want people to be there. So, to be determined on that. That'll be a game time decision there. I mean, I probably will. I don't know. We'll see. 64.92. Holding. All right, Tesla. Let's get into some stocks. So Tesla yesterday, the 338 rejection was very, very nice. You guys can see right here, we had a little bit of a trap. We sort of filled the gap, and then we trapped back under 338, which was just sick. This was a sick, sick, sick move. Midday. Crazy. So we had a nice 338 supply level, which we saw rejections of early morning, right? We didn't really move much lower. The market was pretty strong during this time. You got above this level, total trap back under it, right? And once you failed, and this is what I love. This is what I love about looking for levels that, fail back under, right? Failing back under key levels after breaking them is such an important thing to be watching, right? Look at this. You failed it. You did get back above it. You didn't find the second strength move, right? You didn't have the break, the retest, and the long, right? That's really what you needed. For upside continuation, you need a break, you need a retest, and you need buyers to step back in. That did not happen, right? You retested and you failed. And that is a very bearish thing to happen. And you can see right here, once Tesla failed back under that morning 338 rejection, look at this, dead. I mean, that's a huge intraday opportunity under 338. So that was huge, and that is the exact level that we are moving into today, right? And you can see here on the 4-hour chart, this 338 level is important. So take a look at this, 338, previous major rejections, and you are moving into that level today. So you can see right here, 338 is going to be the spot to watch, right here. Here, here, yesterday's rejections, and here. Do we get back above 338? Do we fail 338? All right, that's going to be the question today for Tesla. The only thing that I would say to be cautious of, right, and what we talk about with Tesla is that Tesla typically is only good when it's on its full bore Teslita days. And today probably is not one of those. All right, Tesla is pretty much within this channel still. Really, this larger channel is still very much intact. And so, do I really think Tesla is going to give you huge opportunity? Probably not today. I'd be careful getting sort of cute within this range. I would watch 338, but I would also just wait to see if something really shows up. 338 is going to be the key, though. NVIDIA, I have no explanations for this one. I don't know. I'm trying to think of what is causing this. There must just be some heavy players on both sides here. Something is creating this sideways consolidation. This is not like, oh, retail is selling 184 and retail is buying 180. That's just not possible. So something is working in the background here on NVIDIA, keeping it pinned like this. There is definitely a puppet master at work here. There's no doubt, right? Even my $100,000 account can't control a stock like this. So this is millions, if not billions of dollars controlling this. I have no idea. I mean, I'm just staying away from it. I really haven't traded NVIDIA. I really don't have any interest in trading this. It's been like this for now almost an entire week. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trading days. You have traded within the exact same, like, 3 to 4 point range. It's crazy. So, can we get over 184? Can we get under 179? Maybe. If not, then I would stay away from it, my friends, to be quite honest. AMD. So this one's interesting today. AMD is giving you that nice little 4-hour pullback, guys, and I would be very much focused on what happens here. AMD had the big squeeze above these highs at 180, 179. We talked about needing a nice pullback, and what has AMD done over the last 2 trading days? It's consolidated very nicely lower, back down to the retest. All right, so this is a nice looking pullback on AMD still. Now, AMD has to hold 179, 180, and the SMH has to hold our 279. If that happens, I am still very interested to see if this is a bull flag pullback that creates another long opportunity. This is very interesting. Now, the next interest that I have is if the market weakens today and semiconductors weaken today, a fail under 179 would bring you into a gap towards 175, which is possibly what you need out of AMD before it moves higher, right? If you look at this daily chart, take a look at this gap here on the daily chart. You have a pretty healthy gap under 179 into 175. This is all gap right here. There's nothing trading there, right? And so this could need maybe this gap fill before we go long. That's possible. And I would only look to trade that today if we really look at failures below, if we're really seeing failures below 179. That's the only way. All right, if you see a nice failure below this 179, that could be a nice gap fill short. Without that, this is still a nice pullback to this major demand. So watching both sides. Watching both sides here on AMD. Not really much on TSM. Again, TSM has a lot of these types of days. It's just not really a trading stock for me. You know, I'm going to keep saying that. I typically always say that about TSM. When I look at the last pretty much month of price action, I really don't see where opportunity, sort of rises. I would say this is a long-term investment. It's not so much a stock I would trade on an intraday basis. But, TSM 237, 247, yeah, I'm not going to look at it today. Broadcom, a little bit sloppy lately. I'm staying away from this one as well. MU, 126 is a pretty important rejection there. You're pretty much pinned between this level right here, 126, 121.50. So for me, semiconductors today, it's really just AMD. If NVIDIA can break a channel maybe, but it's really just AMD as of late. That's pretty much been the best semiconductor to trade. Okay, what's NQ doing? Nothing much. Palantir's dying? Is it? Oh shit. Hey. Day's done? Is that it? Is day done? Yeah, we got some Palantir put swings overnight. Maybe day's done already. Yeah, oh, Intel. Yeah, let's talk about Intel. Thanks, Paul. So, here's my gut, okay? You want to hear my gut feeling on this? The Trump administration saying they're investing in this, unless we have true... Yeah, see, I don't really like this, guys. I don't like said to discuss taking stake in Intel. I don't like that. I wouldn't get all excited about this yet. I am a little bit skeptical on when you have a government saying they're going to take a stake in a company. I just don't know how easy that is to trust. So I'm going to be a little bit, I'm going to be the one that's a little bit questioned on that. I'm not going to be going out and chasing Intel longs today. Let's just put it at that. It's obviously a nice little pop, and it's obviously, it's clear why it would pop. That's a very nice news. That's a nice article for Intel for sure. Of course, it would pop off that. Why would it not? Now the question becomes, is that going to actually happen? That's the next question, right? This pop will die off, and then it needs to actually happen, right? So I don't know. I would just trade it off technicals, and for me, I still see a smackdown level here at 2650. And so, do I really have interest in chasing Intel into that high? Probably not, guys, to be honest. That doesn't really make sense. Like, oh, I'm going to long Intel right at these highs because of that news? Probably not. That's sort of right outside of any type of trading strategy. So, if you get above this high, then maybe we can look for a break and retest. That would be a technical breakout. That would create opportunity. So, that's what I would look for. Okay? All right, let's move on. Netflix, one of my top watches today to re-enter this play. Netflix is doing exactly what we wanted at our target, which was 1230. We can see these lows, these highs, and look what Netflix is doing at 1230. It is holding it right now. So pretty interesting, right? Daily 50, previous highs. Are we holding above that level today? Which we are. Can we see upside off that level? Something I will be watching today. Can Netflix hold that 1230? Can we get our 1260? Going to be watching that today. Meta. I think you need to break over this 788 level to get upside, right? You can see very clear failures again at 788. Really not interested there. Going to need a pop above that. I'll set my alert over 788. Amazon, beautiful yesterday, right through the gap. This was textbook stuff. Amazon over that 226.50. A lot of you guys were eyeing this one yesterday. What a call out, what a move. 226.50 highs. We held above it. We squeezed through the gap. We got to the next level right at 234. It's a perfect trade. It's a perfect trade. You couldn't ask for better, right? You had a clear high. You had the daily 20. You had your gap. You filled the gap. And it was a beautiful textbook day for Amazon. So today, that trade is over. The next trade would be over 234, right? Over 234. If you get above that, you trade it into 240. So that's something to watch there. Google looking really strong. Really nice looking over this high at 205.40, which is this, these highs that have come in the last 2 days. 205.40. Over that, I think you go 208, right? I think you go all-time highs, 208.70, right? So let's see. Maybe Google's a little bit of an outperformer today. It's been very strong over these highs from this week. You're probably going to see all-time highs at 208.70. So not a bad little watch there. Hood, sort of interested in the short side on Hood, but also sort of not because Hood's just a juicy, strong name. It's just sort of hard to play downside on. You have some really clear failures here in the past between this 110, 112 zone, and you're sort of fading back into it. So could I see a failure here again? Probably. But I don't know if I really want to fade Hood into the daily 20, because that, again, was in sick hold of the daily 20. All right, look at this. Just a perfect hold of the daily 20 yesterday. Probably won't get too interested in this one today. Yeah. I'm not sure I want to fade this stock into the daily 20. It's just not really that strong of a move, that good of an idea in my eyes, as of now. Let's see if it fails, though. If it gets under the daily 20, maybe there's more interest. Palantir. So I am currently in a Palantir put option, and we took this overnight, and it's looking pretty good for us here in the pre-market. We'll see what it does. We'll see if it holds lower into the open. There's some pretty clear reasons to think that Palantir needs to have a pullback. It's been insane. It has this huge gap from earnings still. You can see right here, 169 to 162. Still a very big gap that you may need to pull back to. Palantir is also doing a very clear retest rejection here on the 4-hour chart, right? This is a really clean lower high rejection. So you have previous highs here, you have lows here, and you have a very clear rejection right here. So really nice sort of lower high, you know, bearish structure for the moment. I would say your target here on Palantir is going to be 178, 176, which you might actually open up the market to, which might create a really aggressive pop. So if I am short Palantir off the open, I'm probably taking profits into the open. Truth is out. Appreciate that. Robin Hood. Appreciate that, guys. And Edison, thank you for joining the stream, guys. Appreciate that. But yeah, I don't think I want to be too short into this 178, 176 zone. So I'd say some profit taking off the open is probably the right call. I would not be surprised to see this just pop off this level. Under 176, that's where you get your gap fill, guys. So that would really be the aggressive look, is under 176. Okay. Yeah, I saw a lot of people talk. Reddit's just been on a rope, man. I mean, I don't even know how to enter a stock like. Oh, actually, you know what? It's been perfect break and retest. Holy shit, that is just sick. Okay. All right. Well, I mean, yeah. If you want to trade Reddit today, it's just follow the same system it's been doing, right? This is an insane rope play. I mean, this is like systematic as it gets. Damn. Holy crap. That is perfection. Oh, shoot. We got Joby news? No, we did not. Okay. Yeah, I've been tracking this stock, man. Joby. I might have to watch this again today. Okay. Yeah, Reddit. I mean, it's right here. 237. Look at these break and retests. Look at how clean. Previous high. New lows. Previous high. New lows. Previous high. New lows. All right, so that's your entry point right here. Just stair-stepping to the upside pretty much to perfection. 245 is your next high. You get above that. You look for break and retest above that. All right? Just, yeah, stairway to heaven. Look at, geez, man. Okay. All right. Circle, CRWV. Let's get into these real quick. What a trade yesterday on these. Probably one of the best trades in quite some time. Just a no-nonsense, just melt lower. Circle is at the gap fill level, so I would expect this to find some juice today, or at least some kind of a fake pop at some point. Probably some short covering right at the gap fill, 134.72, so you're starting to see upside come in. I'd probably leave this one alone today. I'm not going to try to double dip on this. Buffett stake in what? Oh, in UNH? Yeah, we know that. Is that firm something else, Buffett stake? Yeah, I'm probably not going to, double dip on this today. You just gap filled. I'll probably leave this alone unless you fail under that level. Maybe I'll get interested, but yeah, probably not going to try to get more aggressive on this one today. CRWV. 96 is the... Oh, man, this thing's really dying, huh? Yeah, I'm a little bit cautious. I'm just a tad bit cautious on these names because they, there's always days where they'll just pop back higher out of, just for no reason, basically. So there's a little bit of concern here. I just don't know how aggressive I want to get on these names. 94 lows here. They're just, it's sort of new territory. But I mean, under 96, this is a good failure. Under that low of yesterday, 94, you probably go lower. The next level is really down here at 85. This rejection of the 102, 104 zone. And then if you look at this daily chart, I mean, look at this. Underneath 100, there was really nothing. And there still really is nothing. Like, look under these lows, there is just, it's nothing. So as long as we stay under these lows here around this 100 to 102, 104, this whole zone over here, if we continue to reject this, if you look at this 4-hour chart, look at this rejection underneath these lows. See that? Look at this. Nasty. If you stay under that, there might be more here. And maybe you try to fade it again today. I would just go a little bit lighter size on it today because maybe you find some random pop. You really don't want to give back your profits on some random pop today. 94 lows, be careful of that. Could pop off of it. Underneath 94, maybe you get your juice. All right, I think we got to get to the giveaway because we're running out of time here. I think we went over everything I wanted to go over. Yeah, pretty much. Oh, let's pop on the UNH real quick, just to see what happened here. So our read on UNH longs, just incredible. Unfortunately, I did dip out of this one a little bit early, so bad on me. But really nice play, really nice right up here over this 269 level. This was our long right here over 269. This was awesome. We talked about this in the live stream. Sent this out on the 13th, so 2 days ago. For the group about UNH. I mean, what an opportunity that is. Really nice hold above that 269, 270 zone. For me, this 307 area is a big rejection point, so please be aware of that. Right there, 307 is big. The best entry on UNH without being a degenerate and chasing every single dollar you can afford is 290 to 292 area and that daily 50. You need to pull back to this high, to these lows right here. This is where you want to look to see if there's a new long. On a pullback to this 290 area and that daily 50. That's what I'd be looking for. Okay? All right. So what we're going to do now is we are going to do the giveaway. And to do the giveaway, I am going to go to our form. We had a total of 1,700 submissions. A lot of submissions. I'm going to go to the responses. And I'm going to download the CSV. Download responses, CSV. Okay. 1 second now. Download responses. Okay. Bear with me. Okay. Downloading. There we go. Okay, so here's the file. I don't want to show everyone's name, but that's the file. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and put this file. I'm going to see if this works. Actually, I'd like to use Grok for this because I just like Grok better, personally. I'm going to see if this works. This was an idea I had. Let's see if this works. Grok. Let's upload the CSV. Downloads right there. Choose one person from this CSV file and tell, for a giveaway, I need the person's email. Let's see if it does it. Come on now, Grok. Figure it out. Bam. Jack Jang. jackjang@gmail.com. Sorry for giving away your personal information. I probably should do this differently. But there's your winner. Jack Jang. Appreciate you watching, Jack Jang. I will shoot you an email with a link to get your free hat. We will do this every Friday, guys. So don't feel like you're not going to win it ever. I'll probably try to give away more things to more people. Doxed. Please don't email Jack. I don't think they will. Jack Jang. Appreciate you, Jack Jang. I don't know if you're here or not, but we're just gonna run with it for this one. Next, I'll improve this process moving forward, but that's what we're gonna do. Take the CSV file, put it in ChatGPT, have it pick one, really easy. really, or Grok. And that's our winner. Moving forward, we're gonna have a point system. We'll improve it. Early days. All right, guys. Hope you had a good. Hope you have a great day. Hope you have a great weekend. Hope you enjoyed the live stream. Please press that like button. Please subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys next week. Or I'll see you on Sunday. If you come to the webinar, I'll see you on Sunday. Oh, one last thing. Guest appearance next Friday. Guest appearance on the live stream next Friday. Should be an exciting one. Peace and love.